Hey everybody, welcome to our Vegan Fusion Live, Substack Live. I have my friend Emily Ware here joining us.
Hi there.
As you come in, you could just type where you're coming from, and look forward to discussing all things related to the plant-based and vegan lifestyle. So this is an opportunity for us to build community and support each other in our journey to embrace a plant-based lifestyle. So I see some people uh, coming in. Just give us a heads up of where you're from. If you have any questions, you could type them in to the chat. And just like to introduce my friend Emily. So Emily, would you like to share a little about your background and your vegan journey?
Sure. So I'm Emily. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and um, I became vegetarian when I was about 12. And shortly thereafter, I decided that I wanted to delve further into that and became vegan and have been vegan ever since. I have three kids that have been vegan all their life, and
Awesome.
we're all thriving and living on a plant-based diet.
Cool. And then you want to share about your restaurant experience and kind of the pioneering work you've
Sure.
done in the Milwaukee area?
Yeah, so about 7 years ago, I opened one of the very first vegan restaurants in Milwaukee, which was located in the Milwaukee Public Market. It's called On the Bus. And we had a counter that was made for my very first car, which was a VW bus. Um,
Sweet.
and so had a menu of uh, veggie burgers, sandwiches. We made our own vegan ice cream, smoothies. And it was really a way for people to become comfortable with vegan plant-based food. It was often their first experience. I'd say most of our customers were not vegan actually. So it was a pretty neat experience.
Cool. And anything you notice about any trends in vegan out there in the Midwest, and any like growing awareness, or how is it received, your
Oh,
offering there?
absolutely. I mean, so as you know, Wisconsin is known for its its dairy. So it's definitely a lifestyle change for a lot of people. Um, when On the Bus first opened, it was very new concept to a lot of people. But over the years, it's been great to see how it's evolved and people become way more accepting. And it's very wonderful to see how the vegan lifestyle is growing.
Sweet, sweet, awesome. Yeah, and just some things that I have going on in there. Coming upcoming. I sent it out in the last note, but the Vegan Summerfest is coming up, and if you haven't checked it out, it's an amazing an event. It's put on by the North American Vegetarian Society. This will be their 51st time running the conference, and they have all the leading plant-based medical doctor and nutritionists there. It's in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh. We serve the food as it's definitely a vegan bonanza. We have like a raw food station, an SOS station, gluten free, two hotlines, salad bar, pizza oven and station going. So it's really an incredible event, and it's I know you share my love of food activism, and for me, it's a big opportunity to introduce people to plant based foods. There's like a lot of support for families and childcare, so the parents could attend some of the events. There's pretty much nonstop seminars and workshops and boot camps. It's really people get a big burst of vegan enthusiasm that could keep them going for the full year. And yeah, I'm just honored to be part of it. I'm looking forward to that.
How did you get connected with that in the first place?
That's a great question. It was years ago where I was looking to get more involved in like vegan festivals, and we're working with someone who was working with Veg News, and we were like, just give me like the top vegan festivals going on, and she introduced us. She said, well, actually, the vegan at the time it was called Vegetarian Summerfest. They were looking for an executive chef to run the kitchen, and so I went through the application process with them, and uh, they the references like said it was like a grueling when they were checking my references. It was like a grueling call. Like, what's the worst thing he's like? They really like tried to like shake out anything they could. I think it's still traumatic for my brother-in-law who I've done some catering events with. But that's how we got introduced, and that was back in 2012. I did the first event there. I think we had close to like 700 or 750 people there,
Wow.
and the chef who was there before me had been doing it for 20 years before me, so I had no idea the kind of shoes I was trying to fill. But they're an amazing group. It's part of the North American Vegetarian Society, so for 50 years they've been kind of on the pioneering like education surrounding the plant-based lifestyle.
So do you create the menus that you serve there?
So that initially, yes. So initially we do like several different items per meal, and it's like from a Wednesday lunch to a Sunday lunch. So it's many recipes. So the initial part was I created maybe 25 or 30 of the recipes, and now over the years, between there's a raw food station, a raw food chef, Chris Jolly, who's been working with me for many years. Between he and I, were probably 95 to 98% of the menu now. So a lot of the ones that I contributed were part of the Blossoming Lotus restaurant that we had in Hawaii. But I see some people joining. If you want to say hello, or if you have any questions, this is part of the monthly Ask Me Anything uh, series that I like to do, just to help people in whatever way I can in their plant-based journey. I love showing people how to make plant-based food taste good. It's a form of activism for me that we could talk all day about why it's important to eat vegan foods, but if it doesn't taste good, it's not going to go very far. So it's really my passion to show people how to, whether it's vegan for a day or a week or 30 days, or you want to take like a deep dive. I just love showing people that they can make the transition to plant-based foods without compromising on the flavor or their overall culinary experience. So feel free to type in any questions or let us know where you're joining us from.
I have a question while we wait to see if anybody else has any questions. I know you have an upcoming 4-week cooking immersion course. Um,
Yes.
could you tell us a little bit more about what we could expect from that?
Sure, sure. Thank you for asking. So, as many of you know, we had a cooking school here in Boulder that we opened and closed during COVID. It was a 4-month journey. Just hold on, I just want to make sure my battery is going there. Good, cool.
We still see you.
Technical
We're
side.
good.
Uh, so we after that closed, and I was really thinking about what my next step could be, and just having this real desire to. I like the professional side of the training, and just people that are wanting to go into the plant-based culinary world. Also, just home cooks that are looking to prepare healthy plant-based foods for their families. I had done 2-week cook in person immersions prior to COVID, so I wanted to take a leap and go deeper. So I created a 4-week virtual program, and so what it is, it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Time via Zoom. All the classes are recorded and available for later viewing. I have people who need to be late or miss a class, or I can work with people to make like a go at your own pace style for it. I have someone working on that now. And each day is a deep dive into a different aspect of the plant-based culinary world. So the first 3 days, we lay the foundation for the course. So the first day, we do palate development exercises. The second day, I go through my signature teaching style, which is what I call a template recipe approach, where I show people the underlying formula of a recipe and show them how, by changing components, you can create a new flavor profile or essentially a new recipe. In
Oh,
all
wow.
my 20, yeah, in all my 25 plus years of teaching, that's really the big takeaway that people have, is that they feel like more confident and creative and they could break out of the recipe trap. So I dive into that a lot. And then the third day we do global cuisine, just looking at spice blends and sauces from around the world. Then we do a day for soups, a day for salads and dressings, bean dishes, grain dishes, plant proteins, global handhelds, world tapas, entrees and casseroles, sauces, uh, then brunch and beverages. Brunch is one of my three favorite meals, so I love talking about brunch. And then we do desserts, and then I have an expert bread baker, Chef Lexi, has a gluten-free bakery here in Denver. Then the last week we do a full day of plant-based dairy. Chef Lexi is back for a pasta making day, and then we finish with 3 days of raw foods, which includes fermenting, pickling, using the dehydrator. So it's very comprehensive. And
Wow.
yeah, yeah. My wife's Ashley Bude is a plant-based naturopathic doctor, and so she does 4 food as medicine modules for the course once a week, and it's approved for 120 continuing education credit hours from the American Culinary Federation. I offer scholarships and discounts for people that and payment plans just to help people make it work. I really try to make it work for everybody. So the next one is coming up in August. I love doing them. It's actually my favorite form of teaching right now.
So, how is the best way that we can kind of learn some more information about that? Going to your website or?
Yes, through. So if you're on Substack, there's a link for the our website, and you could look on there. There's a link from the homepage, and then you
Okay.
can message me here on Substack. But yeah, I love doing those trainings. Or I've had everyone from I've had like yoga teachers and culinary students. I had a culinary student from Turkey take the class, one from France, uh, someone in a 14-year-old in London. I've had retired San Francisco police officers in the class, and I like telling people that the vegan police aren't present in my classes. Just everyone's welcome, regardless of what they're eating now. Just if they want to include more plants, and then they showed up
What do
the
we have
next
here?
day with these
Ah,
badges that say vegan police. So it's funny, they're retired police officers. So uh, for the comic effect, I'll break that out. But yeah, retired Homeland Security, foodies, people looking to make a mid-career change, midlife career change. So it's a wonderful course.
that's really great how you're able to tailor it to such a wide demographic of, anybody who sounds like anybody who's just learning how to cook and all the way up to people who are in the culinary industry. So that's great.
Yeah,
Thank you for doing
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I also do one-on-one coaching with students during the course, just to find out what really they're looking for, to go over any subject matter they have questions about, and also those people that do have some career aspirations will brainstorm, come up with action plans. I've reviewed websites, business proposals, so it's really an effort to just promote the plant-based lifestyle. And for me, like I mentioned, it's a form of activism. Just the more people that are comfortable creating the food in a way that tastes good, I think that's what's going to keep sustaining the revolution and the movement.
Absolutely.
So, and anyone joining, feel free if you have any questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you. Uh, as we go through this, we'll be wrapping it up in a few minutes. Emily, how about you? Any favorite recipes you like to do coming up in the spring or summer
Mm.
up there? Any things your kids like?
Thinking about spring, I love making quiches with,
Oh, really?
yeah, doing like a leek quiche, using
Mm-hmm.
tofu as the base of that. Um, yeah, that's one thing. My kids are pretty picky eaters, actually. Believe
Really
it or not.
interesting.
Yeah. But
Have you
the
had any tips for us? I have one picky eater, and one kid will eat fistfuls of cooked spinach, and one looks at like a grain of rice from six different angles before he eats it. So I have the full
that
spectrum.
actually sounds like my experience too. So I think it's every kid is different, and just like adults are different, everybody has their taste. And um I think I've come to the realization that just because you're vegan doesn't mean that you automatically love to eat spinach as a kid. Like,
Right.
it's okay. They're gonna get their nutrition just like you are getting yours, and it'll all work out.
Sweet. Cool. Awesome. Well, anyone have any other questions? For me, I would say I just like the grill starts to become more appealing. We do. I'll just share like one of our go tos is like a monk bowl. So people ask like, "What's your go to?" And so with the monk bowl, I like to look at it as a green, and a protein.
Okay.
And the grain could be a starchy veggie. And so the template idea is once you break a recipe into its components, you can rotate through different ingredients in that category. So for the grains, could be we like doing rice pasta, different shapes and sizes, quinoa, different kinds of rice, millet. It could be polenta, then potatoes I would rotate in with there. And then the greens or any veggie or a combination of veggies of your choosing, with an emphasis on including the rainbow of color. And those veggies could be steamed, raw, roasted, grilled, stir fried. And then for the protein, we all know vegans get enough protein. So I like rotating through like the super firm tofu and tempeh and different beans and legumes. Like for the tofu or tempeh, I really simple, just chop it into cubes or slices, a little drizzle of, I like using avocado oil, a little tamari, and then that goes in like a 375-degree oven for about 20 minutes. That forms the foundation of the meal, and then you could have different sauces that you make in advance. So looking at it as a template, you're rotating through the green, you're rotating through the grains, and you're rotating through the proteins. So even though you could say I had a monk bowl every day this week, it could be totally different experience. When you look at it that way, even a hummus wrap could be considered a monk bowl, because the tortilla is the grain, the
Sure.
veggies are the greens, and then the protein is the hummus. And when you think of it that way, if one of those components is missing, then it looks like it's not going to be quite as satisfying. So I usually, that's my mindset that I adapt for all the seasons. I just change like how I'm preparing it. Like we like doing like a taco night or a sushi night, or doing a Thai night, and then just like the standard monk bowl configurations. So we definitely have a lot to eat here, and it's yeah, there are so many options. And I think that's a big misconception that people have, is that you think that if you're becoming plant based, you're like limiting and restricting and not doing this and not doing that. But what I found is you start being a little more creative and wanting to explore. So there are foods that I've never would have eaten in my meat eating days. I had like six different dishes, and that's all that I ate. And now you get open to more international cuisine and flavor. So plenty of variety.
Well, also, this just makes me think about your concept of those three different components that could really help with meal planning for people too.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that people think about when they're becoming vegan, is like, oh, it's going to get really complicated. But when you break it down like that, it really simplifies things, and you could really plan out your meals easily that way, I think. So that's a
Yeah.
great thing, light bulb moment for me right there.
Cool. Yeah, it's I consider myself a pretty good shopper also. So like when I'm shopping, I'll look through and just that's in my mind, like, am I getting a variety of veggies? Am I getting a variety of proteins? Am I getting a variety of either grains or like potatoes, rotating through different kinds of potatoes? So then yeah, I have that in my mind. I have the breakfast, the lunch for the kids, the monk bowl idea for dinner. So I could, my wife Ashley's always amazed how fast I could get in and out with like a massive amount of food because I already have that like in the back of my mind.
Sure.
Cool. So, well, thank you. Any last comments or questions before we sign off? Again, like I like doing this like at least once a month just to try to create community around the plant-based lifestyle and just make myself available if there's any way I could assist people in uh, embracing this form of eating or sharing any tips or tricks that I've picked up along the way. And any last thoughts, Emily, to share?
No, this has been great. I'd love to if we could do it more than once a month.
Cool.
You're a wealth
Awesome.
of information, and thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Emily. So thank you guys for joining us. Please reach out and wish you the best until we meet again.
All
Take
right.
care.
Thanks,
Bye
Mark.
bye. Thanks, Emily. Bye bye.
Bye bye.